currently entertains you, the people of Twitch, the people of Facebook, the people of YouTube, with my comedy stylings. Today's episode is when I look at the news, because the news can seem to be only about COVID. But I am here to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, the news is not just COVID. We've got strange stories, we've got funny stories, we've got bizarre stories, and I have found them. I'm going to report you the news, crack a few gags, have a little bit of back and forth. If you are watching, if you find something funny, put an LOL up in there, right? If you find something interesting, ask me questions. Way the show is going to be, it's going to be 3 news stories, then there's going to be a little intermission where I address all of your questions, all of your curiosity. Then we have a second half, which equally has 3 news stories. Now, I see someone liking it. I don't see anybody commenting yet. Does it sound clear yet? Does it sound clear? Do you hear me clearly? If I know you hear me clearly, we will get going with the show. Hello, Jacqueline Boylan. You are the first. Hello, Sarah Hall. I think everybody can see me and hear me. So let's get going with the Coronacast Comedy News. Okay, first story of the day, ladies and gentlemen. We got to talk about this, okay? We got to talk about this. This is an inspiring story. There's a child, okay? This child, a child of 6 years old, who has become the world's youngest programmer, okay? He is in India, and he set the Guinness Book World Record, officially becoming the world's youngest certified computer programmer. His name is Aram, and he passed the Microsoft certification exam for the Python programming language at a Pearson VUE Test Center. Now, as somebody who never finished my computing degree, I think I lasted a year and a half. As someone who did not finish my computing degree because it was too difficult, I feel personally attacked, okay? This child needs disciplining. How dare he show us all up and make us all look like idiots by acing his computer degree at the age of 6? I also feel somewhat empathy for his parents, because can you imagine trying to discipline a child, a genius, who is cleverer than you? How would you do it? How would you do it, ladies and gentlemen? This is my question. In an interview, Aram explained, "My father taught me coding. I started using tablets when I was 2 years old. At the age of 3, I bought gadgets with iOS and Windows. Later, I got to know my father was working on Python." This makes me realize that, of course, my lack of being a genius is clearly my parents' fault. It's my father's fault. His father was teaching him coding. My father was buying me big toys for me to play with. Maybe if my father instead had taught me coding, I too would be a genius. That's my story, and I am sticking with it. Hello to you, Henbutt26, who says that you have seen me somewhere before. I look like Kante. It's not actually because I look like Kante. It's because you have probably seen me on YouTube telling jokes. Hello to everybody. Hello. As I said, keep watching. After 3 stories, there was going to be an intermission, so I will take all of your questions and your comments in that moment. Let's move on to the next story. This is a lovely story, okay? So, this one is absolutely fascinating, okay, ladies and gentlemen. So, this is in Australia, in a little town in Australia, I believe, yes. The elected mayor, Margaret Strello, resigned after a scandal, right? Meaning that the only competitor who ran against her in this election, by default, would become the mayor. Only one person ran against her, who was a person who is called Chris Pineapple Hooper, depicted here. Now, he is a local climate and peace activist who travels around town barefoot and sleeps in a shop front. Now, this is an absolutely hilarious turn of events. A lot of them are trying to block his ascension, and I hope that they don't, because I actually think that even though he may seem somewhat unconventional, maybe in unconventional times, you need an unconventional leader, right? When asked what he would do if he was mayor, he said he would establish a board of people from all walks of life, including the unemployed and indigenous, and decide together what needs to be done. Isn't that inspiring? Isn't that inspiring, right? He would also take on the role for $1 a year. $1 a year. He doesn't even want pay because he feels he doesn't need any more, right? He doesn't need shoes, right? He doesn't need to sleep on a bed. He does not need it. And it gets me thinking that maybe a joke candidate is the best candidate, right? Maybe we are making a mistake by electing people who seem like they could run things, right? What we need to do, and I've said this before, is maybe elections need to be a lottery. It needs to be a lottery. You open your mail and you find out that you are now president, you are now prime minister, because somebody who wants power is not someone who can be trusted with power. It must be a surprise, and it must be something. It must be the worst news of your week. You should open the envelope and be like, I have to run the country. Oh no. You have to call all your friends and you have to be like, I'm sorry, I can't come to the birthday party. I have to run England. I have to sort out Brexit. You know what I mean? This is my plan, and this is where we're going. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going on to the final story before the intermission, which is one which I think is very interesting, right? So, a bookstore in Oregon has released a unisex fragrance that smells of books, right? They say that it's got hints of violet, wood, and biblicore. The 19-pound perfume at Powell's City of Books aims to replicate the smell of old paper that creates an atmosphere ripe with mood and possibility. Now, I've got to tell you, these people have clearly created this based on a misunderstanding, right? I suspect that the owners of this bookstore misunderstood what book lover means. I am a book lover. This does not mean that you are aroused by the smell of books and you literally want to have sex with the books, right? Being a book lover does not mean that you go into the stacks of the local bookstore and just have a bit of fun with yourself. But I do like this idea. I do like this idea of creating scents which are based on what you think the person you are dating loves most. You're with a book lover, you smell like books. I think about my ex, right? What should she have smelled like if she wanted to please me? Perhaps she should have taken on the smell of other women. And what should I have smelled like to please her? Perhaps I should have rolled around in money so that I smelt like money, ladies and gentlemen. This is my theory. I'm sticking to it. Let's get to the intermission. If you've got any questions, if you've got any comments, if you've got any statements you want to make, now is the time. Now is the time. Let's get going, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get going. Okay. Hello, Jacqueline Boylan. I do look like a newscaster. That is the point. I'm glad it works. I'm glad it sounds perfect. Ransom Hawk, good to have you here. A lot of people around, actually, today. I suspect the weather may be involved. Very good. You're all very, very welcome here. Glad you are hearing me loud and clear. Shout out to you, Musa Kamhaise in South Africa. Hope you're doing well. I don't know what exactly the situation is. Notoriously, South Africa had the most intense lockdown in the world, right? Actually in the world. They banned booze. You could not buy booze during lockdown, which to me seemed like a bad idea, because what is a sign of alcohol withdrawal? Headaches, vomiting, fever. How would they know the reason why people are going to the clinic? Hope South Africa is doing well now. Let us know in the chat. Hello, Henbut26, who keeps asking where you have seen me. You probably saw me on Britain's Got Talent. That is probably the highest chance you saw me. Or if you are in Africa, maybe you saw me on something like Night of 1,000 Laughs or Churchill Show. Okay, Prola, I do not want to become famous and buy followers. I don't want to buy my followers. I am not a fan of slavery, and I would rather my followers are free and not bought and paid for. Okay, here we go. Hello from Sierra Leone. The child is a computer himself, Dr. Edwin Momo. That kid is the spawn of Satan. I tell you, that kid is too clever. Okay, what else do we have here? Yes, indeed. Hello to you, Unatan Lapsy. Good to have some Twitch people. I usually only have the heart. Most of my followers are on Facebook, so it's lovely when I see that there are a few people on other platforms such as Twitch. It's usually mainly, so you're very welcome. And tell your other Twitchy friends that there is comedy in the house. Excellent. Let's see what's going on. Greetings from Kanye. Hi, yo, Andy. Good to have you in the house. Oh, there's a glitch in my green screen. There's a line in the wall, top to bottom. Oh, you are right. You're right. There's a line. Okay, so what I need to do is I need to close it. Oh, but I shouldn't pull because it could just fall on top of me. This is a very good point. I think the solution is to move the camera. There you go. Hidden. Hey, brother. Churchill Show. I will be back in Kenya when time is good. And hello to you, Marlene. Good to have you back. Let's get back to the news. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. I'm back in attack. Okay. Next news story for the day, ladies and gentlemen. Very dramatic story. Okay, so there was a fight in the eggs aisle in Tesco in the UK, right? A brawl broke out in the Tesco eggs aisle during yesterday's 2-minute silence. Somebody questioned at the scene said, "We were all stood still observing the 2-minute silence when we suddenly heard lots of screaming and shouting," an onlooker said at the branch in Middlesbrough. Now, I know what a lot of you were thinking. Some of you were thinking that this was COVID-related battling over the last toilet paper. No! It happened in the eggs aisle. I can only speculate why these women were fighting in the eggs aisle. Perhaps they were trying to make an omelette. Perhaps they had taken a long time. And it was a 2-minute silence, and perhaps they disagreed on how long 2 minutes is. That's actually my theory. They were meant to be having a 2 minutes of silence. One of them started moving, and one of them was like, "You're meant to be silent. You're meant to be silent." Like, "Well, you're talking right now. No, you're meant to be silent. We're meant to do 2 minutes of silence." Like, I counted 2 minutes. Like, you don't know how to count. You literally did 1 minute and 15 seconds. No, that was 2 minutes. No, that was 1 minute 15. Why you care? It's my life. I don't care. You don't tell me. No, I know what 2 minutes is. You did not do 2 minutes. Okay, well, let's do another minute because this minute silence is very important. Like, you've been making more noise than I was making just because, you know, screw you. In fact, you know what? You take this egg to your face. Boom. And that is how fights begin. That's a better theory for why they were fighting. In the exile. Do put it in the chat and we will discuss it before wrapping up the show. Okay, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see what's going on. The next one is a story which I think is going to hit us all in the heart. So, the Czech Republic has very, very strict curfew rules, right? Very strict curfew rules. There are few exemptions where you are allowed to leave the house and go for a walk, but you need a very specific reason. And one of the ones which is allowed is you are allowed to take your dog for a walk. Now, a man in the Czech Republic who did not have a dog bought dying of sexual frustration. Metaphorically, you should be allowed to visit them in this interpretation of the law. If you have any unique interpretations of the laws, you let us know. Somebody says that we are buffering. Ladies and gentlemen, it's gone slightly out of focus. Is this only Sarah Hall? I've frozen? Oh no, I've frozen? I was doing good jokes. Tell me if I am frozen. Tell me if you still see me. I have no clue. City rules. It's back, but you... Apologies. Okay, let's move on, ladies and gentlemen. The penultimate story of the day. Ladies and gentlemen. May I... Right? 80% of his body is tattooed. And he recently spent £400 to have tusks added to his teeth. Now he says that he is trying to be himself, to be unique. Now I've got some news for you, my man. You've been unique for a while. Even before you had the tusks, I guarantee you, you were unique. Nobody was mistaking you for anybody else except possibly an orc in Lord of the Rings. You've been unique for a lot of times. He says he's just trying to be himself. These are just his ideas, his inspirations coming from the heart. Well, more power for you. I'm glad you have found a way to express yourself, but I hope you don't change your mind, right? Because there is no coming back from tusks. You have chosen the orc look and you are stuck with it. But somewhere out there is a lady whose fetish is for orcs, and she is extremely, extremely excited. Let's move on, ladies and gentlemen, to the final story of the day. The final story of the day. Ladies and gentlemen, witches across the U.S. apparently cast spells to stop Donald Trump from winning the election, and they began the blue wave spell under a blue moon in Halloween, and they performed the magic the day after and the day after until the eve of the election, and Biden did indeed triumph. But witches, I hate to tell you, your work is not done. You need to keep casting your spells. You need to keep doing your rituals to ensure that Donald Trump actually concedes, because it currently seems like he's trying to do a Robert Mugabe. Dude is refusing to go. Okay, so witches, what you got to do is next time he's about to make a speech, he's got the microphone in his hand. Expelliarmus, right? Do it, okay? Get to work, witches. Get your spell casting. Get your Eye of Newt. Get your bubble, toil and trouble, cauldron, bubble. I don't know the rituals, but please get to it. You take a final look at the comments, so if you have any final questions or things you want to say, put them in right now. It's your last chance until... Okay, let's see what's going on. You can see me now on Twitch, 8Marlene8. Yes, so there was clearly some kind of glitch, probably with my internet, which is the sort of thing which happens in the age of everybody working from home. And alas, the joke was pretty funny, but I may just use it again tomorrow, because nobody saw it. Okay, let's see what's going on here. You're looking forward to a meeting with you, Molly Sample. Have we planned a meeting? I'm not sure. Well, I look forward to meeting you too. That could be sinister. I'm not sure I recognize you, Molly Sample, but we shall meet at some point. Oh no, Kerry Burnout, you keep getting a cannot play video error message. Hopefully it is sorted out. Hello from Lebanon. How are you doing in Lebanon? Lebanon has had a very up and down last few months. Hope you're doing well, Matthew. Actually, I had two fans from Lebanon who stopped tuning in. I should message them, check that they're doing okay, actually. Thanks for giving me the reminder. Hello from Zambia, Zechariah. Good to have you in the house. How does he eat and kiss? Says Sarah Hall. Did you take a good look at his face? Did you take a look at his tusks? I don't know anything for certain, but I suspect that he's not kissing anybody. Eating, maybe liquid food. Okay, let's see what's going on. That is ringing. Yo, Andy, you're saying that the witches rigged the votes. In fact, you know, Trump has been making all of his accusations without proof. He's been just saying there's been rigging, no proof. But here we have a statement that the witches were doing a ritual. Perhaps tomorrow he should say it was a huge magic spell that these witches cast that is totally irregular, and I demand a recast. I think you're right. On point. Yo, Andy. Glad you enjoy the jokes, Matthew Mackey. Good to have you in the house. I did have a Zoom show on Tuesday. It went very well. It was for Red Imp Comedy. How are you doing? Hello from Ethiopia. Good to have you in the house. Doing well indeed. It's been a little bit up and down. Yesterday I didn't do a Coronacast because I was drowning in admin, because I had been writing my sitcom and my novel and ignoring invoicing and applying for things and paying people who I owe money, all the things the boring stuff. So yesterday was just a do all the boring stuff day. Tomorrow will probably be something like a Coronacast comedy carousel or something like that, because I won't have time to write new jokes because I'm spending the whole morning filming recording a few radio episodes for something with a friend of mine, Tony Vino. So that's going to be all of my day tomorrow, but I will still do a Coronacast. It just probably will be old jokes, old classics. So ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Coronacast Comedy Show. See those of you who tune in tomorrow. Everybody stay safe. Thanks for stopping around. And I forgot to say, if you want to support the show, you have an opinion, you have an opportunity, a once in a lifetime opportunity to help to feed this black man, not that black man, not this black man, this black man. You can feed this African adult. All you need to do is you can go to kofi.com/Deliso Chaponda, donate as